So now I will discuss about another very important, part or rather subset of what is that, a subset of the AI tools, that is machine learning. Machine learning. No. Let's talk about a little bit about machine learning. What is machine learning? Machine learning is basically as human learning as, so it will be machines learning, right? So humans can learn, so can the machines, right? So machine learning means it's a science, it's a study in computer science where the machines are led to learn, and without being programmed explicitly, and by it's led to learn actually by feeding some data or information to the machine, right? So that's the long short definition of machine learning, we can call it. Now, machine learning is basically a very subcore, extremely extremely machine learning is core subset of the AI, and it has a lot of value in the artificial in any kind of AI growth that's coming into play. So machine learning plays a very important role out there. Now machine learning has, so I will explain machine learning in greater detail later on in the later part of the video. The ML has so many types of MLs are there actually. So total of 4 types of MLs are there, and that are supervised learning, semi-supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and as well as reinforcement learning, right? That I've already mentioned here as well. So I will explain all of those in the later part of the video, right? Okay, that's fine. So I will in the later part of the video I will explain also all those ports port ML, right? Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about robotic process automation. Is another AI premium or top AI technology. So from the name you can sense that there's a thing called robotic, right? So it must be related to a robot that is automated, maybe human or maybe another animal, or maybe that's a robot actually, human actually. Okay, so artificially made humans. So that's a robotic process automation. Let's talk a little bit about it. So what's a robotic process automation, or RPA? Right now, RPA is basically associate rising type of business process automation technology, supported the notion of software system robots or artificial intelligence workers. In traditional workflow automation tools, a software developer produces inventory actions to automatism, a task and interface to the back-end system exploitation, internal application programming interfaces, APIs. So APIs are very important application programming interfaces or dedicated scripting language, right? In distinction, RPM systems develop the actions list by looking at the user perform that task within the application's graphical user interface GUI, and then perform the automation by repetition those tasks directly within the GUI. GUI is basically graphical user interface. Now, this may lower the barrier to use of automation in products that may not otherwise feature arthropod genus of this purpose, right? Yeah. Now, when individuals initially hear the term robotic process automation, they could imagine shiny robots self-planning around workspace buildings. In reality, this can be simply software package that may be created to perform this kind of administrative tasks that otherwise need to stopgap human handling. Most operations teams adopting RPA or robotic process automation have secured their employees that automation would not result in layoff. Instead, staff is redeployed rather to try doing a lot of fascinating work. One educational study highlighted that knowledge workers didn't feel vulnerable by automation. They embraced it and viewed the robots as teammates as well. Well, among different technological trends, is predicted to drive a new wave of productivity and efficiency gains in the global labor. Now, the difference between RPA and traditional business method automation may be likened to a driverless robotic car versus a car using control merely modulates a vehicle speed, whereas the driverless car is ready to remember, learn, adapt, and reply to numerous driving things as an individual would. This ability and awareness is what provides RPA the providing over traditional business and information technology process automation technology. The hosting of RPA or robotic process automation, this one that I mentioned here as well, this robotic process automation. The hosting of RPA, robotic process automation service, service additionally aligns with the trope of a software robot, with every robotic instance having its own virtual workstation very similar to somebody's employee. The automation uses keyboard and mouse controls to record actions and execute automations as well. Unremarkably, all of those actions happen in exceedingly virtual surroundings and not on screen of the machine. The robot, the robot would like a physical screen to control, and rather it interprets the screen so electronically. The measurability of recent, solutions supported architectures like this owes a lot to the appearance of virtualization technology, while not that the measurability of enormous deployments would be restricted by obtainable capability to manage physical hardware and by the associated prices. To understand the idea of robotic process automation RPA, a little illustration like a team of 11 bank workers was allotted to manually review on a day-to-day a pair of 500 high-risk client accounts to work out whether or not payments ought to be processed. Okay, it took up to 8 hours for those 11 workers to end the task. The work is currently performed by 20 computer code robots, whereas the workers are free to try and do higher value work. So that's the beauty of robotic process automation RPA, and is really important in the coming years. It can compete us, the humans, in job industry. Now, AI and robotics, a manufacturing process is basically a stochastic process, right? An operator uses his arms, hands, hands and brain to perform operations like grasping, holding, orienting, inserting, aligning, fitting, screwing and turning of the workpieces of various shapes and sizes, right? In small and medium batch production, programmable automation is adopted. Robots are important aids in programmable automation. For precision, a robot has to interact with the environment around it in a manner similar to man. Therefore, a robot should be intelligent if it has to emulate human capabilities. An intelligent robot has survived arm and end effectors, has sensors and adaptive control functions. With the help of computer, adaptive control is necessary to correct the errors in position and orientation of the workpieces, and the effectors and intelligent robot must determine cause and effect phenomena. So it must detect the faults and minimize their effects. The thinking process such as brain function are performed by a computer. Sensing and effecting are the body functions that can be performed using the basic laws and axioms of computer science. In order to accomplish a task, both the brain and the body function are to be coordinated. So a small robot must have artificial intelligence that will differentiate the robot from another machine. Now, sensing includes seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, and measuring. The sensors gather and produce information. They have little ability to reason about it. Now, effecting can be done by actions. The action can be accomplished by manipulators using body, arm, wrist, hands, fingers, legs, wheeled vehicles, mobile robot maybe, and with various means of communications, right? The components of interpreting, generating, and reasoning are necessary to acquire knowledge about the environment. These components, in fact, recognize, locate, and assemble the objects and may direct the changes in the environment. Interpreting information is a mean to understanding the environment. However, interpreting information in proper context is necessary. Generating a function is a means to influence the environment. Reasoning is a means to cope with unforeseen, incomplete, and uncertain, and perhaps conflicting information to act or react to the environment. Now there are robotic laws as well. So Isaac Asimov, dealing on the subject of robotics, framed three basic laws which the roboticists still obey with respect. The laws are philosophical in nature. They are as follows. First law: a robot must not harm a human being or through inaction allow one to come to harm. Second law: a robot must always obey human beings unless it is in conflict with the first law. Third law: a robot must protect itself from harm unless that's in conflict with the second laws. So there are three laws done by proposed by Isaac Asimov. Now, types of robot controls. There are different types of controller used in robotics. There are drum controllers, air logic controller, programmable controller, microprocess based controller, and mini computer based controller rather. Now let's explain a little bit about all these controllers. Now let's start with drum controller. Now drum controller, as the drum rotates, it actuates the switches which are wired to hydraulic or pneumatic valves. Thus, the manipulator movements are controlled by the rotation or the advancement of the drum is now obsolete. Air logic controller employs a number of pneumatic valves which in turn control the opening and closing of the main valves of the robot manipulator in close synchronization with the timers. Right, so now programmable controllers. In a programmable controller, the sequential order in which the switches are to be operated in kept in the memory. It can be entered into the controller with the help of a keyboard. The program can also be displayed on the CRT screen. The programmable controllers may be on to control to and coordinate numerous tasks to be done by the peripheral devices as well as the robots. Now, the fourth type of controllers are basically microprocessor based controllers. The microprocessor based controller is the most popular robot control systems. A microcomputer of various types may be employed to program the sequential tasks or motions and store them in its memory. It contains special circuitry to interpret the programs kept in its memory, and at the same time it can also count the number of sequential events or tasks accomplished. It is versatile, programmable, and has good memory, point-to-point, continuous path, and controlled path motions can be easily programmed in microprocessor-based robotic system. Now, mini computer-based controller robots having higher payload are manipulated through a mini computer-based controller. Now, let's talk about a little bit about programming methods, right? Now, programming methods of a robot can be done by several methods, that is lead through programming, teach-dependent programming, textual programming using computer terminal. Now, lead through programming, basically in this method, robot is switched to program mode when the operand holds the robot manipulator or its wrist and moves it through a desired path. The robot controller memorizes all the points so generated during playback. The robot manipulators describe the same path as taught during learning, right? Moreover, editing facility can be provided to compensate for error. Some of the robots with continuous path control system use joystick. As the joystick is moved moves in a different axis. The robot manipulator axis follow the motions. Exactly speed commands are provided to increase or decrease the speed of manipulator, right? Now, I've already explained the lead through programming. Now let's delve into teach-pendant programming. Teach-pendant is the most popular method of programming industrial robot. Now, textual programming, right? Now, microcomputers are used for programming industrial robots, and different languages has been developed for both online and offline monitoring. Robot software languages including facilities such as subroutines, program branching, interruptions, and signaling to peripheral equipment, etc. Different languages for robot software system include VAL, used in animation robots, Sigla, SIGLA, all capital, used in Sigma robots, help are used in PRAM assembly robots, Autopass or AUTOPASS, Autopass in IBM robots, and so on and so forth. At present, there are many different robot programming languages with various important features. Yeah, like flexibility in editing, interpreting, compiling, simulating, and debugging facilities. Now I will discuss a little bit about robot sensors. In order to function effectively, a robot has to receive information from the environment for necessary manipulators, right, and send signals to various joints for necessary movements and interact with the peripheral equipment. The objects would not be pressed, hard, or deformed or asleep. Sometimes it's necessary to have prior knowledge regarding the form of the object before it's gripped. Therefore, it's needed to sense and measure all the important geometrical parameters of the object lying in an environment. Sensory feedback is, of course, more important for unstructured environment, right? Okay, that is unleveled or unstructured environment. Yeah. Usually, there are two basic kinds of sensors for searching, recognizing, grasping, and place to objects. They are tactile and non-tactile. Yeah, tactile sensors are contact sensors that has to broad connected with the object to get signals to measure the necessary quantities, while non-tactile sensors are contactless sensors that sense the signals remotely, but only within the required range of distance from the object. When the tactile sensors make physical contact with the object, an electrical analog or digital signal is generated and sent to the robot controller. Electrical signals may be obtained through the contacts or micro switches, right? Signals may also be obtained through mechanical pressures, which changes a resistance of electrical strain causes in piezoelectric crystals. So there are also some piezoelectric crystals as well, where we can see these resistances of electrical strain gauges, right, are changed. Now typical contact types of robotic sensors include four types of sensors. That is force sensors, torque sensors, touch sensors, position sensors. Now, tactile sensors detect and measure magnetic fields, infrared and ultraviolet light, X-rays, electrical fields, ultrasonic sound waves or electromagnetic waves. Typically, non-contact sensors include electro-optical imaging sensors, proximity sensors, range imaging sensors. Now, imaging sensors may use a laser scanner. Computer vision use artificial intelligence AI to determine cause and effect phenomena to detect the fault or minimize their effects. Right, yeah. Vision robots acquire knowledge about the environment by the interpreting, generating, and reasoning components. Now let's talk about improved data analytics. Each task the robot executes produces data that, once gathered, permits for an analysis. This drives a better decision among within the areas of the processes being machine controlled or yeah. At this step in a very process is traced, an organization is ready to spot gaps, so whatever processes can be further optimized to extend potency. Now let's talk about increased efficiency of the robots or robotic devices, maybe robots actually, more precisely we can call it robot. Yeah, as software packages package robots handle the plenty of repetitive tedious jobs running or during a business employee to who can participate in further else activities that involve personal interaction, problem determination and deciding. Robotic process automation permits employees to finish tasks that are a lot of valuable to the company and its customers. Once employees feel their work is valued and worthy, their productivity will increase. That will increase work retention rates as well. However, on the first side, having the ability to participate in additional added activities employees area unit higher supported for their added tasks. This could facilitate increased productivity. Again, a similar volume of work can be done in less time than before, thereby permitting downstream work to begin sooner. No advantages of this RPA I have to discuss. Robotic process automation software systems and services are ready to run applications the manner a person's operator would. Supported rules, the workflow operate automatically, complicated tests. RPA, the robotic process automation, brings a full form of advantages like number one, continuing service. Once it involves running a real 24/7 service, software packages or package robots emerge as obvious what they're doing, no need to take breaks while doing tasks. Scalability, number two, scalability. The process is fixed for one software robot or often enlarged to any number of other robots, and conversely robots are often decommissioned of a process to work on another one. Number three, truthfulness. Once allotted tasks, robots are designed to faithfully complete to instructions without failing. Number four, time. Whereas it takes years to implement traditional projects with humans, it only takes weeks with robots. Yeah, so that basically time is being saved here. Number five, improved efficiency. The wonder of RPA or robotic process automation is that it's designed to alleviate or reduce human employees of their repetitive daily tasks. Once technology handles these tasks and workflows, the method runs abundant faster and afterwards work more effectively. Number six, greater productivity. When technology does the heavy lifting, as in the case with RPA, that is robotic process automation, output can be considerably increased. Moreover, knowledge employees are going to be freed up to use their skills and knowledge to further necessary projects that drive innovation and growth. Number seven, elimination of human errors. Even the foremost careful human worker can make an occasional mistake. Unfortunately, typically these errors can prove to be incredibly costly. With robotic process automation technology that's driven by artificial intelligence, this risk is eliminated, resulting in large accuracy. Number eight, cost saving. While implementing robotic process automation doesn't require an upfront investment, the overall increase in efficiency and productivity as well as a reduction in human errors quite justify the expense. Number nine, lower turnover. Once human employees are no longer slowed down by boring, repeating and mundane tasks, satisfaction levels are naturally rise rather. Furthermore, employees can appreciate the flexibility to participate in additional high-level projects. Additionally, disposal to larger worker satisfaction and retention. Now there are disadvantages rather. So there are some advantages that I've already discussed. Now there are a few more disadvantages as well of this RPA or robotic process automation, which are I will talk about four major disadvantages of the RPA. Number one, monetary expense. Now, budgetary restrictions are among the most important reasons why businesses are not preferred to implement RPA or robotic process and automation rather. Number two, lack of technical ability. Many of us believe that in order to leverage robotic process automation, the end user should process or should possess rather more precisely a significant technical ability. This thought sometimes holds them back from reaping the various advantages or amenities that area unit accessible to them. Number three, major change. Doping or replacement technology needs modification, right? However, with the proper tool, the impact of the change is much less noticeable and disruptive than many realize. Number four, that is redundancy. Yeah, this is really important. Another common concern of this resistant to RPA or robotic process and automation is that the worry that robots will replace human workers, when its main purpose is to actually support humans within the work, and it's actually happening these days as well. As you have heard, a lot of companies or a lot of highly paid jobs have been cut off due to the development of AI in recent times. So that is a major concern among the in the minds of the those job workers as well. So as you know that the atom, in case of atom bomb also, Einstein discovered atom bomb for the greater benefit of mankind, but you know some people, some bureaucrats, some ugly warmongers, they have used those things actually into some other things, some developments, some destruction of mankind. So that's also not a good thing, and that's not an advantage. That's basically a huge backdrop or disadvantage as well. But if you can use this thing in benefit of the mankind, then it can be used profusely.